Officials and coaches won't always see eye to eye on every call, but there is one thing that we can all agree on. Good sportsmanship makes winners regardless of the score.
And we can all best contribute to good sportsmanship by walking a mile in each other's shoes. Coaches put in hundreds of hours a season watching video, holding practices, and coaching young people. Coaches have the difficult task of providing student athletes a positive experience, even with all the expectations and pressures that come from athletes, parents, administrators, and community members.
Officials also work hard on their craft. Besides working games during the season, we attend association meetings, study the rules, watch video, and attend camps and clinics. We also have to pay registration fees, association dues, and are responsible for all of our own uniforms, equipment, and travel.
In this day and age of slow motion video, social media, and camera phones at every turn, both coaches and officials are regularly second-guessed for their decisions. All of this scrutiny comes as they try to maintain a balance with their responsibilities to their families and their day jobs.
So the next time you want to lash out at an official after a close call or decision,
or when you want to yell back at a coach when they're simply frustrated and a little emotional,
take time to step back, take a deep breath, and give each other the benefit of the doubt.
this season, let's all be winners by displaying good sportsmanship and setting the example for our kids and our fans.
Part of the problem is the way that the players are reacting to officials, the way coaches are reacting to officials and parents. It's hard to get young officials to want to be in the game.
Last season, we had some of our most unsportsmanlike behavior in recent memory. Discussions surrounding fights, unruly spectators, and ejections filled up much of the conversation. This year, it's going to be up to both coaches and officials to take the lead on improving the culture of MHSAA basketball. For one, it's important to recognize that MHSAA coaches and officials have much in common and are working towards the same goal. That is, to make sure contests are safe, fair, and fun for all of our student athletes. Coaches and officials should admire the commitment and hard work that each puts into their craft.
As soon as the season is over, we continue to figure out what we failed, what areas we need to improve, areas we did well in, and we're trying to prepare for the next year already, and it never stops for us. It's a continue.
I really appreciate that the officials are on the same mission as the coaches. We're all trying to better the game, enhance the athlete's experience, and sometimes we view officials as adversaries, and I don't like that. When you're in a game, the officials help to make the game run smoothly. They help the players, they help the coaches, and I just think perspective is a big part of that.
They sacrifice a lot for their team, for their school, for their community, for their players. MHSAA basketball coaches are viewed as teachers, life skill coaches, role models for their student athletes.
Being a high school coach is hard because you're always on and you're always being evaluated, and it's a difficult job. They get paid very modest amounts of money to do it, and they do it for the love of young people and the love of their sport. So I give them a great deal of respect and honor because they're doing something and they're giving back in a time when they wouldn't necessarily have to do that. They could be doing other things, and they choose to work in high school sports, and that's something that I think a lot of people don't understand.
They choose to do this, and you know, it's a tough job when you have to deal with coaches like myself, players, fans, parents. You know, so I thank them for signing on to this, because I realize it could be tough because they can't please anybody. You know, somebody's going to be mad. It's going to be the losing team's going to be mad. The parents of the losing team's going to be mad, or the parent of a player's going to be mad, or you know, the fans, and so it's just, you know, they can't please anybody. And I appreciate the fact that they come in and night out understanding that they're not going to please everybody, and they have a job to do.
The right kind of communication is key. Officials should be willing to listen and answer questions, avoid arguments, and be professional and courteous. Coaches should know when the time is appropriate, accept the answers you receive, and don't use personal attacks.
I would say that if I better understand what a coach does and a coach makes the effort to better understand what I do, then I think those relationships will be better. And I would say this, that the longer you spend in it as a coach, I suspect, and for sure the longer you spend in it as an official, these relationships get better. And if you develop credibility and if you develop respect, and you know, if coaches know you're trying hard, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Because coaches are going to make mistakes, and so are officials. And if we understand that we're all human, it's going to be a lot easier.
We as coaches have to understand that we have to communicate in an appropriate manner all the time. And I've been guilty myself of not doing that, and I have to do a better job. Officials have to understand that they have to do a better job of communicating with coaches.
I think a lot of it has to do with understanding point of view. I think a lot of times as coaches, we don't spend enough time understanding an official's point of view, and I don't think the official spends enough time understanding our point of view. I would like officials to understand sometimes at the end of games, when the score may be lopsided one way or the other, that when those players go in, they are trying just as hard as everybody else. And sometimes as coaches and as officials, we view that part of the game as the game's over, let's run the clock down, when that young man or young woman deserves the same free throws that someone else got at the beginning of the game. That might be all they have.
I think I learned a lot, interestingly enough, about officiating the year that I stopped officiating. So when one of my daughters played high school basketball, I took several years off, particularly her 11th and 12th grade year. She played a lot in 9th grade and she played a lot in 10th grade, but she didn't play a lot in 11th grade. There were people in front of her, and she maybe only got in half the games for maybe 6 minutes. And when she would get in, I always appreciated the officials who took that part of the game seriously, because I'm the parent and I want to watch my daughter play for those 2 or 3 minutes near the end of the game, and that matters to me more than a state championship, because that's my daughter. So I guess a message to officials I would give is, whenever you're out there on the field, know that you're officiating someone's son or daughter, and that's an important thing for them, and it's an important thing for their parents and their families who have invested a lot in it. So take every minute of every game seriously.
The best way to ensure good sportsmanship is to lead by example and only concern yourself with the things you can control. Things won't always go the way you expect, but it's how you react to those adversities that demonstrates the true character you want to display and model. Fans and parents should watch and cheer on their teams, allow the coaches to coach and the players to play, and let the officials officiate. Let's make the effort this season to keep everyone in the game.